Hi everybody, today I'm playing a 10-minute rapid game against a Polish player, Statzik1. Here we open with e4, e5, and as you can see this is a chess game, so I move my knight, develop as I would usually do, and as most chess players would do. And here I'm playing the Italian game. He followed up with h6, which I haven't seen much, and then I play the d4 move, striking to get control of the center. And here I pre-move the takes because that's the most obvious move that can be played. As you can see, I'm targeting the weak f7 square. That's why my queen's in the center, and I think I'm soon going to develop my bishop and knights. As you can see, he played h6, not that much of a productive move beforehand, but it has purpose. It wants to let the king castle safely. You'll understand why later in the game because, spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I win the game because of an insane attack on the king. So that move isn't really that far-fetched. So here I'm trying to move my bishop, but then I was trying to move my pawn, so I was in a dilemma there. I'm trying to trade. He kicks my pawn so that I can't take his knight. If I take the knight, he takes my queen, and the queen's obviously way more valuable than a knight. Now he goes and attacks my queen. I obviously have to seek it to safety, and I'm trying to checkmate on the f7 square that I mentioned was weak early in the video. But now, unfortunately, he got a free pawn and defended the f7 square, like I said. He could have taken the bishop, but you'll see what will happen later in the game if he didn't take the bishop, which he didn't do. Unfortunately, I don't remember this off the top of my head, and I'm just moving back to see what I did. That's just natural. If he moves to g6, well, I'm in trouble. Then I don't know what I do. I can't remember it, but he castles. Very strong move. Unfortunately, I moved my queen there. I made the mistake. And look, my bishop is hanging. That's exactly a typical me. Well, it's okay because I took that pawn. You can't take back because it's going to be a check. So he defends with his bishop. Very straightforward move. If I move to d5, it's a very bad move. Next, he doesn't take the b2 pawn, but he obviously either attacks my rook or brings his knight to safety, which he does. And it's at a prime central square, which is pretty strong. So, I try and push my f-pawn and attack. Okay, so I decide to move my f-pawn here and attack the knight because I'm anyway losing. I think f5 was a good move, but unfortunately the bishop's covering the square. And I ought to move my bishop because, well, the knight's covering the square. So after he took, I obviously took that pawn because I'm trying to initiate an attack on the king. And you'll see why it's important and crucial later in the game. As you can see, my position doesn't look too bad because of my attack, but nevertheless, that doesn't undermine the fact that I'm a bishop down. He attacks my rook, and a rook's more valuable than a knight or bishop, but not them put together, so I can't move it on the 4th rank necessarily. Well, I could move it, but that'll inch me away from the attack. So I decide to move back 2 spaces instead of getting myself captured and keep my pieces in a risky position because, well, I don't like it. I was anyway losing and I was a bit angry because I was about to resign, but it's okay. I thought to myself, it's okay. I can do this. So, after waiting for a while, my opponent tried to attack my rook and I didn't trade, but he traded the next move because trading's good when you're up material. Instead, I continue initiating my attack with the move h4. As you can see, it isn't too bad of a move because it can't be taken because my queen is defending. It can also move back to h2 and defend and create more of an attack. I'm sure he trades rooks here because he's up material. And the only thing I can take with is my knight, because otherwise I'm basically 8 points down, a rook and a bishop down. How disappointing is that? So now I decide to continue initiating my attack after he played the queen move, attacking my b2 pawn. Nevertheless, I thought it was insignificant and tried to continue with my attack. Well, because an attack and checkmate is more important than just losing a pawn, bishop, rook, or even a queen. Well, some people do queen sack to get a mate. So he has to move his knight because it's being attacked by a low value piece, my pawn. So he moved to the central square. Again, not a bad move. And I try and advance my attack. Because look, many attacks start to initiate when you're getting to become a better chess player. I couldn't take that. Well, I knew I couldn't. So I didn't know where to move my knight, but I moved my queen to h4 to try and initiate my attack. Or h3, yeah, h3, because I thought h4 had a few dangers and I obviously want to checkmate more safely, as everyone's probably heard the phrase, better safe than sorry. So, if you're doing this, the c2 pawn and the b2 pawn are hanging, and my knight is in grave danger, but it's gonna move out of the way. Well, it has to. But it's currently his move, and he tries and piles up on my knight. See? How useful are your attacks when you have a lot of pieces? This is a good attacking lesson because I'm trying to attack the bishop. I decide to take because then I have the move h takes g7, which is very strong, allowing my queen to move to h6. That's a grave blunder, but the move he just played, because I can take with check. He has to take, otherwise there's a mate on h8, and I go there and check. Now he's in grave trouble, so I decide to bring my last piece into the attack. And well, that was a grave mistake, and otherwise I could have lost the game. As I mentioned in my spoiler, I won it. So, yeah. Here, I defend my knight exactly like he did, and they're the same number of squares away from the knight. Soon I'm going to prepare to take the bishop and then move my rook to f6, and my queen's attacking the knight, which is a good move because I'm trying to win a tempo. He can still move back to e5, taking control of the 4 central squares again, but unfortunately I don't think he plays that because my queen was under attack. I thought of just taking the bishop right now, but then I finally realized my queen's under attack. Instead, he tries to attack my rook, and I take the bishop, because if he takes my rook, there's queen h8 checkmate, so he has to take my knight. Even if he say pushes, it's quite dangerous for him, and I win my bishop back. So he takes, allowing me to go to f6. So now, after the big blunder, I don't think I'm losing anymore. So I decide to initiate my play, my best play, so that my rating won't be lost. And I attack that pawn because it was very crucial. I think he decides to go and defend with c7, but he could have defended with his rook as well. That was his second mistake of the game. I decided to take because if he moved his king, there would soon be a checkmate on g7. So he moved his queen. Even if he lost material, as I said before, the king safety is way more important. I go and check, trying to win pawns. I honestly thought of checking on h6, but because his knight and bishop were piled up, right? I took with check. Even if he took my pawn, his king would be in danger, and he nearly came to my king. He was trying to checkmate, right? Because I'm 2 points up in material right now. Well, I was 3 points up. So I'm thinking of where to check his king. I checked there, trying to win the a7 and b7 pawns. He tries and activates his king even more, which is a pretty dangerous move. But considering I had no checks, Also not senseless. D4 was one of my best checks. Well, my only good check, because C4 I'd lose my queen. C8 I'd lose my queen. H5 I'd lose my queen. C5, well, if I stayed there, he would start initiating an attack on my king. I either decided to check or take the pawn, and I checked, which is a decent move. And he further attacks. I mean, I don't know why he was going to attack my king. I didn't know his or her psychology, but I checked again. I don't know why that was immediate, but I could have gone to D6. I was calculating, I think. And now I win the rook through a fork. The king has to move and he resigns soon. Thanks everyone who watched and have a good day. And don't forget to like and subscribe.